Hi, I'm Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics. Today I'm going to show you how to make a quilt called Side Steps. This is a pattern from Cozy Quilt Designs, and I'm going to make it a little bit different than what the cover shows. I'm going to use all these floral prints. This is a roll-up from Robert Kaufman called Georgina. So I'm going to use these darker ones in the darker section here, the lighter ones in the lighter section, and then I'm going to use a bone colored background, so that should change the look of this quite a bit. One of the things I love about Cozy's patterns is that they come in multiple sizes. We've got a table runner all the way up to a king. I'm going to make the throw size, so I'm going to need a total of 20 strips, 10 light, 10 dark. So those are for the different blocks here. You can see the darker one here, the lighter one here. So let's open up the jelly roll and see what will look good where. I think we have pretty distinct colors here, so it'll be easy to pick out what goes where. Yeah, okay, these are clearly dark, as are these here, so we'll pick 10 from those guys. Now for lights, these are all light, but I think I'm going to stick to light lavender and light green. We'll pick 10 of those. And then these leftover ones, which all have a cream background, we'll use these for one of the borders. There, 10 darks, 10 lights. Some of these will stay whole and we'll make strip units with them. Some will get subcut. I can't give you all the sizes because it's not my pattern, but Cozy Quilt's patterns are very easy to follow. The only other thing we need is some background. I'm going to use a nice solid bone. I like to use a weight when I'm cutting my fabric. So I've got a little 5-pound dumbbell here. That will help hold my ruler in place while I cut. It's almost like an extra hand holding up there. And it helps prevent that from sliding as you cut. The cutting is all done now, and we're ready to make some strip units. So we're going to take these whole strips and we're going to cut them in half along the fold here, so we have half strips. Then we're going to mix them up a little bit, and we're going to take two different ones and make strip units. So we'll take one of these, and we'll stitch them together side by side. All we have to do is stitch down one long edge, and I just try to make sure that I'm not stretching the top or the bottom or stretching the whole thing when I sew. And this will be much easier to iron if we finger press it. So to finger press, I've got my seam allowance going that way, and I'm going to pull it open, and I'm going to anchor it here with one finger. Then I'm just going to draw my fingernail or the pad of my finger right down that seam, and I'm just pressing it with my finger. And I can feel that the seam allowances are all going to that direction. It's just a quick pressing, but it'll make it very easy to iron flat. Now we can give it a very quick pressing. I like to do a dry iron first, make sure it's nice and flat, and then add some steam. Then this will get subcut, and we'll have some little segments that are already pieced that look like that. There's all of the dark little strip units. I'm going to do the same thing with the lights. So I've split them up, and then I'm just going to take these two, and then we'll do those two and those two, and make strip units exactly the same way as we did with the darks. There's all of those guys. Those are done, and we are ready now to make our first block. So we're going to need one of these and a dark segment, We're going to need one of that size and one of that size of the lighter colors. Same thing with the dark. Then we need 2 of these longer pieces, 2 of these, 1 square, and we'll take them to the sewing machine. The layout for the block is pretty easy. We're going to start with a background and a long piece there. And then the same thing is going to go down in this far corner. Then we're going to have the pieced unit here with 1 piece right on top of it, and I think that's going to fit right there. And then the light piece unit is going to go here with the background piece there. And then in the middle, all we've got is 3 pieces. That guy goes right in the middle, the dark one goes on the bottom, the light one goes on the top. And of course, if you don't like those 2 fabrics next to each other, you can turn that around. So we're going to make that row, and that row. So let's start by putting these 2 guys together. I'm just going to finger press for now, and we always want to put the seam allowance toward the dark where we can, and we can here, so we'll press it that way. Now we'll get these 2 guys, and again I'm going to press away from the background and toward the darker color. Now we'll put these 2 together. Press towards the dark. Same thing with this guy. Now we can make this whole row and this whole row. And I'm going to press towards these 2 guys. And the pattern has a very nice diagram with arrows that shows you which way to press all your seam allowances. You don't have to remember any of this. Now we've just got 1 row that goes right in the middle. Last step is to put all 3 sections together, and if you like to stop in the middle and iron all of these before you sew them, you can. But they're pretty stable and pretty flat, so I'm just going to wait till I have the whole block done, and then I will iron. There's only 1 intersection to match, and that's right here. And the seam allowances are going in opposite directions, so it's very easy to feel with your finger if you've got those lined up. And for these long block seams, I'm just going to press them all to one side. So we've got that one, and then 1 more seam. And that's the whole block. Now it looks a little unremarkable right now, but wait till we get a whole bunch of them done and turn them different ways when we lay out the quilt, and you'll see how nice these can look. The blocks are all done, and now we get to see what the quilt will look like. So first row, we've got the dark on the bottom. The next one, we're just going to flip it around and put the dark on the top. So the first row just alternates like this the whole way across. And it's only a 4x5 quilt, the size I'm making, so it'll be super quick to lay it out. Second row, just the opposite. We're going to put the light on the bottom, and then we're going to put the dark on the bottom. And I'm not going to worry too much right now. If fabrics line up like I've got these 2 lined up, we'll switch the blocks around after we get it all laid out correctly. There, now that all the blocks are laid out, you can start to see we've got a dark, dark, dark. They're all lined up in diagonal rows. And if you have some that match up, like this is the same fabric here and I'd prefer a variety, just take two and switch them up like that. Or you can turn them around, you can do whatever you want, but I like to get the colors balanced and I like to not have the same piece lined up. So I'll check for all that, and then I'm going to add some borders and we'll get it onto the quilting machine. I've got the quilt all loaded up and I've got lots of thread choices to choose from here. I think I would like the thread to show a little bit more prominently on this quilt because we have these nice backgrounds where we can make the quilting show. That one matches perfect, but it's not going to show very much in that light area. We could go with a deep purple. Now that's going to show a lot in here. It's not going to fight with the light patchwork, so that's an option. This one's a couple shades lighter, a little bit bluer. That would look pretty good. And I also picked out a couple of these variegated threads. Let's see how that'll show up. That'll show up. It doesn't change color a lot, just a little bit. And then we've got this green, blue, yellow. I think I'm going to go with this variegated. I think that'll be very interesting. For the quilting pattern, I'm using one called Clematis. I really like the shape of the flowers, and I especially like these leaves with the little spines showing there. The side steps quilt is all done, and I'm really pleased with how the borders frame it so nicely. You can make such a difference to your quilt by adding borders. This one, the pattern called for a great big border here, and I had this large scale floral print. I think it just looks perfect. I switched the order of these, so the pattern calls for a bigger border first, then a little teeny border. I just thought this would look a little bit better with the teeny border first. And this border is made with some of the extra jelly roll strips that I had left over that I didn't use in the patchwork. The quilting looks really nice in here. I love the flowers, I love the leaves, and even on the back side, even though it's dark, the thread is slightly lighter and you can see that all over there. It looks really, really nice. That light green binding, it's the same as the inner border. Frames it quite nicely. I think it finished, let's see, 59 by 69. This would look great in a bigger size, but look at how you can see those steps of colors. They really show up now that we've got the whole quilt done. Thanks so much for watching our tutorial today. We hope you enjoyed it. Now at the end of every video, we like to do a giveaway. Today's giveaway is a hexagon kaleidoscope. So this is all made with one fabric. The fabric that's around the border here, that was cut up and made all these different blocks. It's a really fun quilt to make, and we have a video to show you how. But today you can win this, and all you have to do is click the link right below this video that says giveaway and put in your name and your email address, and you might be the lucky winner. Now if you like our tutorials and you want to support us, the best thing you can do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. That really helps us out. Happy quilting!